I'm going to ask you really quickly, and you're engineers, right? Is there anybody not an engineer? Okay, so you know how long 2 minutes is, right? In 2 minutes, starting with Fred, let's go left to right. Give me an idea. Tell me about your team. Tell me about where your team is based and what you're doing in general. I don't need a big team status, but just give me an intro to your team.
Okay. I'm with Team FredNet, the Open Space Society. We are a 501c3 nonprofit open source, open participation team competing for the Google Lunar X Prize. We are based in cyberspace more than in real space because we started online in a virtual community. We have an online wiki and an online forum, which actually I shouldn't say they're online right now because we're revising the access model right now. But anyone in the world can join our team and participate in our team, subject to the restrictions of ITAR. But you can join the team, you can participate in designing the rovers, the communication systems, the software development, the control systems, and it's become a community of about 700 people distributed through 63 countries on 6 continents. So if anybody here is from Antarctica, we are looking for somebody from Antarctica because we want to have the 7.
Do you know everybody's name?
I do not know everybody's name, but we have a lot of people named Alex. And so we actually thought for a little while about changing it to AlexNet, but we couldn't come up with a good acronym. Because FredNet, of course, stands for Fred's Robotic Exploration Development Network. And
very cool.
I just happened to be Fred.
So I'm sorry, who else was going to win? Oh, Fred. Hey, Tim.
We've been at this for this long.
Okay, we'll use a working mic.
Yes, a working mic helps.
There we go.
We've been working on this for 3.5 years. We were one of the first 10 teams. In fact, we are team number 10 in the X Prize. We consider that a good omen since it's Roman numeral X. We're going to win because we've been working very hard on this. And has anybody here ever heard of the internet before? If you know anything about the history of the internet or something like the Linux operating system, those systems were developed using open source methodologies and open participation. And we're going to win because we're taking those same techniques and we're applying them to a new problem. And the goal of our company in the long term, besides building working space missions, is to build an open source catalog of spacecraft components. And that open catalog will give people the opportunity to reduce the cost of access to space by using reusable, freely available hardware designs. And those hardware designs are what's going to enable us to get into space and continue to grow in the space business over the long term. We also currently have about the 4th generation of our Pico rover, which is actually has a contract as a virtual tourist in Europe right now. You can drive the Pico rover online to tour sites in Barcelona, Spain, and in Venice, Italy, I believe is the other site right now. We have a lander model that works. It's a prototype lander built by Maston Space Systems. That lander won the Northrop Grumman Lunar Lander Challenge about 2 years ago. And we are working with Dave Maston to build both the lander and the TLI stage. So we have already working flying hardware. We have flown some of our hardware on balloons to altitudes of 33 kilometers, and we found that the camera doesn't work above 29. But at least we're working on the problem, and we are solving the problem. We do have the force of numbers behind us. We have the open participation from people around the world gives us a diversity of input that I'm not sure everybody else has access to. Well, I agree with Tim on a lot of that. I don't agree on his particular business model because I don't think rideshare is the answer. I think that ultimately the answer has to be creating a sustainable space economy. And that doesn't mean sharing rides from Earth into space. That means building things in space that can be used in space. And so our model, while we're a nonprofit now, we do intend to have for-profit activities that grow out of our efforts. If you remember, the internet, with all the donated time, all the donated services, started as something that was always free. Back in the ARPANET days, we weren't even allowed to make a profit on the activities we did on the internet. But eventually, when government got out of that business, the internet became a very profitable business. Does anybody know how much money was made on the internet? What was the internet economy last year? Do you remember how many billions of dollars that was? Because that's what we're doing. We're building something that right now we're not making money from, and we probably won't make money from it within the first 3 to 5 years. After that 5-year period, after we've established a pattern of operational space missions, that's the time where we start making money back on the initial investment by creating small, repeatable lunar missions, using the resources we find on the moon and in low Earth orbit, and developing systems that can sustain our presence in space.
So that being said, what's the potential long-term impact of one team winning the prize and a number of teams giving it a serious attempt, right? Because whether or not you win the prize, I don't think you're going to stop doing it just because someone else was first. You're probably going to launch a mission anyway, right? You didn't spend 5 years and millions of dollars building this thing to just quit because you didn't win this prize, right?
Right.
The prize isn't the only part of the business plan. The prize isn't the only part of the vision.
The
So what does it look like?
The prize cannot be the business plan. You can't do this for the prize. The value of the prize is less than the cost of the mission. So you have to build a business that the prize helps offset the initial expense. The prize brings in the publicity. It brings in the attention of the media, the attention of the popular public. It also allows us to develop a new generation of space pioneers. It helps us educate youth. And those people are essential to building the future of space. If you look around the room, there aren't as many people that are his age as there are that are my age or older. And we need to start bringing in the youth and get them interested in space again. And that's the value of the prize. It's bringing up the new generation, and it's educating the public and educating the investing public. One of the challenges, one of the biggest challenges, I'm wandering off topic, sorry.
No,
But one of the biggest challenges is the people with the money, the bankers, the investment bankers, don't think that space is someplace they can make money. They see it as a place they can lose money. And what we have to educate them about is the potential value that can be unlocked by smart investments now.